guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys all so much for clicking and watching today's video. I'm so happy to have all of you guys here. Welcome and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Fantasia, and on this channel we do all things living your best life, all things becoming the best version of yourself, and all things in self-love. Okay, just all of the things, right? So on today's video, you guys know what time of the week it is. It's that time of the week where we do getting real, get ready. This is where I just kind of get comfortable, do makeup, and just talk like we're talking on the phone, like we're talking on FaceTime, and talk about life or the reality of it. You know, we never want to remove that because that removes a sense of like moving through life and being real with yourself. That's why it's called getting real and getting ready, because we all go through real life problems, and I love just these moments of transparency. So today's a very special getting real and get ready with me. I think probably like my most vulnerable, most just like something I just don't talk about much, but I think I'm ready. I think I'm to the point where I can talk about it. So in this video, I just kind of want to talk about my journey to becoming a nurse. And I just want to take you guys on my path and what it took for me and the adversity I had to overcome, because there's power in pain, and I believe in giving it and giving back. And so I'm going to share my journey and how I went from being a pharmacy tech to a very successful nurse. And I'm just happy to share my journey with you guys. And I am going to dibble and dabble a little bit in why I don't talk about my career on this channel. That was just a very intentional decision I made early on into going out onto YouTube and putting my life in the internet, all of that. Anyways, guys, today's a very special video. I love you guys all so much. Thank you guys for tuning in and rocking with me, and all of your love on my channel. I see you guys, I see the clicks, I see the views. Not quite the comments like I would like. So let's up the game with the comments, sis. Like, comment down below. Let me know your journey. Let me know what you do for a living. Just talk. Let's commute. You know, build and grow. So hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button. Comment down below so we can grow and be great. You guys know how we do it over here. And let's dive on into this video. Alrighty. Alrighty guys, so I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little bit more, because this is like a getting real, getting ready. Do I like that? I don't know. Do I like being that close? Let's come back out a little bit. Ooh, let's come back out a little bit. Okay, let's try that. I think that's good because you can still see all of this. And I'm actually gonna put on one of my little headbands. I have been loving wearing these. And girl, let me tell you about the edge control I have been loving. It's called Edge Slick. It is the bomb. Like, if you have really coarse hair, this Edge Slick will get you good. It's fragrance free. Yeah, really good Edge Slicks. You know, all of the good things. And you don't even have to like put a headband after you do your edges. It's the bomb, right? So there's my headband. I have been loving these. And so yeah, eyebrows are already done. The girl who got my eyebrows right, she did an amazing job. And so I'm still kind of sunburnt and in a very dark stage. So hopefully we can work through that. I'm going to be using like all products I quite haven't used. These are like new to me. So I won't be talking about the products much. I don't ever do that in my getting real, getting readies. But yeah, guys, oh my gosh, this is such a special video. I'm going to be talking about my journey to becoming a nurse, and boy is this special, right? So becoming a nurse was not something I could truly say I wanted to do my whole life. It wasn't like I didn't grow up, you know, knowing for a fact without a shadow of doubt that I was going to be a nurse. That wasn't me. In fact, I didn't decide that I wanted to be a nurse until I was in college, really, and I had to choose a major. But let's kind of take it back to my childhood really quick, because I like a little primer water. I'm gonna do a little bit, because my childhood is where people would ask me like what I wanted to do growing up, and I always knew I wanted to be a world changer, a trailblazer. I knew I was gonna be at the forefront of, like, I was gonna be the voice for people. I just didn't know how. I knew that I was gonna inspire people. That I just always knew that in the depths of my heart. But as far as like what I wanted to do, and I just really always used to tell people I'm going to college. I know I'm going to college. And that's very special for me because nobody in my family like that I could think of has just gone to college and was successful. Really, a lot of the highest in my family is really high school. And then my parents, you know, they really didn't get through middle school. So college just wasn't a thing. It was not pushed or talked about in our household, and it wasn't like it was frowned upon. I just think it wasn't familiar to my family, right? So going to college wasn't something that was pushed or just felt like we had to do growing up, right? I think you put this on top of the primer. And with that being said, I'm just gonna use more of this mattifying one. Uh-oh, let me take my earrings off. We'll put them back on once yeah, I'm still peeling. I'm like still very sunburnt. I don't know if you guys can see that. So yeah. And I actually got a lot of pushback from my dad. You guys know I was raised in a single parent household with just my father, and he did not want me going off to college. He felt like a job was good enough. Now, mind you, let me give you guys this disclaimer, okay? School has always come natural to me. And I'm talking like from a young age, school has just been something, like I remember being in all the advanced classes, like being in first grade but going to fourth grade for reading. I remember getting chosen for the spelling bees, and always, I mean, I had stacks and stacks of honor roll awards, but I wasn't celebrated at home, so I didn't really know the value in it. So like the older I got, like I didn't really work as hard in school. But trust and believe, baby, I could learn some stuff, okay? You put me in a classroom, I just thrived. It came very natural to me. Learning is something I've always taken a great deal of pride in. So I just used to tell people, even though I didn't know the meaning, that college was something I was gonna do. And it really wasn't until my senior year, in high school when I really didn't like start applying and getting serious about college, if I'm just being honest. Like I think all through, I always forget to continue to do my makeup. It never fails. So I'm hoping that this foundation works well for me, you guys, because I am so much darker than I normally am. But anyways, yeah, going to college just wasn't something that was talked about. And then senior year, I think it was like middle school all the way through like high school, I kind of just fell off with school. It wasn't a priority. It really wasn't pushed. I did the kind of bare minimum while I was in school. And then we had people come to recruit and fill out applications and all this other stuff. By the way, it's storming. So if you guys hear thunders on the outside and storms, that's exactly what it is, okay? The thunder is rolling. And so I, would fill them out. And then there was this particular school that continued to push and call me back and offer scholarships. And it was very far away from home, okay? Very far away from home. So that was made like my dad's anxiety even worse about me going to college, was that I wanted to go so far away. So long story short, I ended up getting accepted into a college. I had no idea what it was going to require going to college and being first generational college student. And all I knew is I had a team of teachers, mentors in high school. Hey, Miss Thompson, who really, really pushed me to make the decision to leave home, get in a different environment. And they really believed I would thrive if I went off to college. So that's what I did through all of the adversity, because there was a lot of adversity. Imagine being the first generation college student, the only one that understands the power of going to school, all of those things. And, overcoming the hurdles of leaving far away from home with very little support. And I could go on and on, but there was a fire in me that was like, yeah, girl, you gotta do something different. You gotta be the person in your family. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there was something in my spirit that kept pushing and motivating me. And my church home back at home was really big in helping me, with the resources to make the move to go ahead on and go to college. So in 2009, I took the journey and my dad dropped me off. It was his very first plane ride to go to college. And I will not be mentioning the name of, yeah, this is a really good foundation shade. It's really nice, great. Will not be mentioning the name of the school. It's not important. It is a historically Black university. And my dad dropped me off. It was his very first plane ride in his entire life. And he was so nervous, okay? So nervous. And my dad was such a trooper though. He would do anything in this world for his girls. And I loved that about him, okay? So yeah, he dropped me off and I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And that's just a little background as to how I got to college, right? Went through my first 2 years and it was such a, what's the word that I'm looking for? It was such a, I don't know what the word is, but learning curve, okay? In life, it was a learning curve academically. It was a learning curve relationship-wise. I had just never, had no idea what I was getting myself into, literally, okay? So, mind you, I'm thousands and thousands of miles away from home, very little support, and here I am being dropped off at college, and I gotta make the best of it, right? So, and I did just that though. I really maximized my life when it came to college, okay? I really, really, truly did. Like, I took advantage of the resources that they offered. I took advantage of the academics and having the ability to kind of start over and build my academics kind of from the ground up with my core classes. And, you know, I got to know people. I was in a new environment. It really opened up my heart and my mind in a lot of ways. If you don't believe in it, I think trying new environments is always a good thing. It broadens your perspective, the way you think, all of those things. And I really, really appreciated this journey for that alone. So there's one thing. So going into my third year, I took all my basic courses, and it was time for me to pick what I wanted to do for a living. And so my dream was never to, like, money has never been like on my radar as far as career goes. I don't know, I just always had a really good understanding of money isn't everything, but I wanted to be solid. I wanted to be comfortable. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to make things worth my while. And I also knew that I wanted to help people. So I was at a roadblock between social work and nursing, okay? I looked them up, I read on them, I talked to people about them, and I just wasn't sure which one I should do. And honestly, I did always want to live a comfortable life, and I always heard, well, social workers don't make money, but I've always wanted to be a help and a resource and inspiration to people, and I wanted to combine that into what I did for a living, right? So I ended up choosing nursing with a lot of thought, a lot of prayer, and I did that because I felt like I could bridge the gap between wanting to help people, making good, comfortable money, and really just being a service to people. And I just thought it was kind of like just the cool career, if I can be honest with you. So I went ahead and chose nursing and just had no idea what I was in for academically, okay? Although I was always smart, nursing is a very hard major, and it's a hard major when you're young. You're still exercising discipline and learning yourself, and you're in a new environment, and there was just a lot of things I didn't consider going into nursing. And so I ended up going into nursing and taking the classes that I needed. I got into the program, and I did okay for the most part when it came to academics. I wasn't the best. That's like the first C I think I made in college. It was like my first semester in nursing school, and I just didn't really, I don't think I took it as serious academically as I should. I didn't really put in the effort to learn my learning style, and I didn't really take the time to learn what I needed to do to be successful in such a different, because nursing is definitely an application program. You have to learn to apply the things that you're reading. You're no longer just memorizing. You're no longer just doing the bare minimum to get by. Like, you have to know the material to be successful. And so I'm going to be honest, I don't think I personally took the time to learn that about myself. In addition to that, I also feel like the support at the institution that I was, as far as the nursing program, wasn't the best, for a lack of better words. And that's all we're gonna say about that. And so moving forward, I got all the way through the program, and as I gave you guys my history as far as being the first generational college student, you know, being in a professional program, applying to a professional program, it's very much an independent program. They have different rules and regulations in order to be successful, because the point is to prove that you are ready to be a professional, ready to pass the NCLEX. And so of course they don't operate like most just programs there's a lot of different rules when it comes to passing. The grading scale is higher and all of those things. So as I go on to say that you can only take one class over again, that might be one of the rules. Or like I said, the grading scale, you have to make over an 85, and they grade things a little stricter because they want to really ensure that you know what you are doing. And I get that. I wholeheartedly understand and get that. Now mind you, I was still very much a hard worker and determined, and really wanted to be a nurse. But programs have rules, and you have to understand that. With that being said, they have a lot of standardized tests that are similar to the NCLEX that you take throughout the program. And so if you've ever been in a professional program, I'm sure you're familiar with like the T's, or they might have the HESI and all of those things. And I think you have to take them to get in. You have to take them throughout the semester, depending. Every school is a little different. So you just have to be familiar with the school that you are in. So with that being said, I'm gonna eat one more apple. Hold on, guys. Let me see. Craving these apples. That being said, they have like an exit exam once you take all the classes. And just to make a very long story short, the exit exam can only be taken so many times at the time that I was in the program. And imagine having all this hope, giving all these, you know, giving all your time, sacrifice, and energy for about like 4 years, and getting all the way to the end of a program and finding out you can't return to the program. And that's what happened to me. I found out that I couldn't return to the program. I had maxed my amount of times that I could take the exit exam. And it was just devastating. It was probably one of the most humiliating, devastating things, because it was, I'm gonna be honest, it was like, I felt like, I'm looking for my concealer. That's fine, I'll use this one. I felt like, you know, I had put in a lot of work, and when it came down to it, I should have used that other concealer, kind of dropped on the side of the road and told to figure out what I was going to do with my life now that I could not return to the program. And boy, when I tell you guys, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but there was a time in my life that I could not get through this story without going into the ugly cry. I mean, this hit me like a ton of bricks, because, you know, I left far away from home, no support, and then being told that like, oh, you can't return to our program, you got to figure life out now. You know, I'm in my early to mid 20s, and it was devastating. I mean, it was humiliating. It was hard. I didn't have a job. I didn't know what to do. I had been in this sheltered environment for a long time, and I was expecting to leave that environment with a degree and a change in life. And I had put a lot of my hope, to escape my environment, into this one situation. And when I tell you, that was the beginning of my downfall. It was very hard. Like, I found that's where every insecurity, every negativity, everything in my life had come out in that moment. I just slipped into depression. I felt like a failure. I felt like everything that I felt like I had struggled with in my life had came out in that moment. And it just got worse and worse and worse over the years. I definitely went into a very ugly, dark season in my life, for a lack of better words. Okay, I really truly did. It was hard because I literally had to leave that environment, go back into the real world and pick up the pieces and look around and figure out how I was going to make life work from this moment moving forward. And it was tough. Okay, I felt like I hid a lot. I feel like I physically hid. Like I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want people to know what I was going through. And there were so many people who knew my situation that didn't check on me, that didn't wonder if I was okay, how that situation affected me. And then I had this friend who, it wasn't a friend, it was more of an acquaintance, who was like, hey, I work at CVS and I can get you a little job at CVS. And when I tell you that was like my saving grace, that and 2 people in my life at that time, 2 or 3 people, 3 or 4 people. Because I don't want to leave anybody out. But, you know, there was 2 or 3 people who checked on me consistently at that point in my life, who really just made an effort to make sure I did not continue down a dark road. But it was hard because life goes on for everybody, even when you're going through things. So it's difficult to, you know, expect people to check on you. But I had maybe 3 or 4 consistent people who still had faith in me when I lost complete faith in myself. Okay, and I mean complete faith. I just, yeah, went down a very dark path in my life at that time. Okay, and I'm okay with being honest with it now because I'm on the other side of it, and we'll get to the triumph part of it later on in this video. Ooh, that powder is so very pretty. It's very pronounced too. So yeah, I ended up getting a job at CVS, and like I said, that was truly like my confidence booster. That was the thing that didn't make me feel like I was just completely a failure. You know, just having that hope, something to get up and go to in the morning and have something to do. And the job was really, they needed employees, so I definitely was always needed, and that helped my self-esteem and my confidence in a little bit that it could. But with that being said, so I just maximized my life as much as I could at that time. But it was very hard because I was around a lot of people who were in the healthcare field, a lot of people who, and so I was a pharmacy tech. I should give you guys that disclaimer. I was a pharmacy tech at CVS, and I was getting paid literally pennies. It was better than nothing, and I'm thankful for that. This bronzer is very dark. I'm thankful for that. And one thing I want to tell you guys is, as I'm looking back, you know, I'm going to teach you guys some things that I learned from my situation, is do not despise small beginnings. Okay, so do not despise small beginnings, because working at CVS really helped me in a lot of ways. I got certified as a pharmacy tech. It built my confidence in the healthcare field. It taught me how to be careful with small things like pills. I got to memorize medicines. I got to work around pharmacists who taught me things about the healthcare field, because HIPAA is still very much a thing in pharmacy as it is health profession. And little things like that. You build your character with small moments. You ask God what you need in these small moments, and he will definitely show you. I got to work around people, difficult people, on a smaller level. So when my responsibility at a higher level got better, I got better in dealing with people on that level. So moving forward, I learned to enjoy my job at CVS. I was a little miserable because I felt like I needed more. I felt like I had worked hard. I spent 4 years working to become a nurse, and here I am working this job making pennies. I was working like 80 hours a week, weekly, leaving one CVS, going to another CVS, and, you know, working 12 hours a day just to make very, very little money. And so as the story moves forward, I continued to work at CVS, and that's where I met my mentor, who really kept the word. Because I had a lot of people who told me that they were, going to support me and get me out of this situation and do all these things. And man, nobody kept their word. Okay, let's just keep it real. but I had a few people who did. And so this particular person, at one point, I think I was working at CVS for at least a year or so, a year going on 2 years, and this particular person, Miss McCarroll, had called me and, you know, checked on me. She was like, hey, are you still, you know, in nursing school? And I kind of explained to her what happened. She was familiar with my situation a little bit, and she made a promise to keep her word to get me back through nursing school, and we tag teamed it together. And when I tell you, I would give her an idea, she would bounce an idea off of me, and we worked together along with a few other people who supported me strongly as well. But I want to give Miss McCarroll a shout out in this video because she really kept her word. I mean, through all my lowest moments, through all my highest moments, she really made sure that I got back into nursing school, and I started applying to other nursing schools. And I got rejected from a lot of them. I got rejected from several nursing schools prior to getting accepted into the one that I did. And there's a lot of little things that I'm, you know, keeping out because, you know, I'm not trying to badmouth anyone or make this situation more so about the institution, but this is about a story of glory and hope, you know. So till I relocated, once I relocated to a bigger city, then, you know, we made it happen. I eventually got, I think I was a farm tech for probably like 4 good years before I got accepted, and I still worked full-time as a farm tech going back into nursing school. I really did. And then after going back into nursing school, I worked full-time, 7 on, 7 off. And I was very successful my second time in nursing school. Very successful, but very drained, very burned out, very much did not take care of myself throughout this time in the least bit, okay? So where is, let me use concealer again on my eyelids. Y'all, I am craving doing a very bright look. So I think I'm gonna do a bright green look. Whenever I filmed a different video and then it didn't turn out the way I wanted to, but the eyeshadow look was amazing. And I wanna recreate that. I want to do something bright and fun to match my bright and fun shirt, you know? You gotta live light these days. You can't take everything so serious. It's makeup, you erase it. It doesn't last forever. So I'm gonna do a bright green look because that's what I really want to do. And so I worked full-time, and then I was very successful, did very well my second time in nursing school, and I'm very proud of myself for that. But for the longest time, I wore the badge of failure. I wore the badge of reject. I wore the badge of everything I had been through in my life up until that point. And then when everything blew up, I still continued to wear that badge of I'm just hopeless. So getting back into nursing school, being successful, being a first-generation college student, overcoming all that I didn't matter because I still felt like that failure that was ingrained in me when I failed nursing school, or when I, you know, come from a low-income neighborhood. All those things and those feelings never went away, and they don't go away because you become a nurse or you're successful. If you feel that way going into it and you don't work on it, you're gonna always feel that way. And then when life hits you, you're gonna more feel that way because you haven't worked on it. And that's very much what happened to me, okay? So I continued and I did very well in nursing school, and I graduated nursing school and became a nurse. But I was still dealing with all of those negative, toxic feelings, and I didn't feel proud of myself at the time. I felt very much like a loser. Like I felt like, oh, I had to go back to nursing school. I didn't do it right. Instead of being grateful and thankful for the opportunity, instead of being thankful, because a lot of people don't have the energy to go back to nursing school. A lot of people don't end up going back to nursing school. A lot of people don't have the opportunity to get in a second time. And instead of being thankful and seeing that as an opportunity to really do right. Now that I had a second time, I wore the badge of like, oh, okay, I'm a nurse now, whatever. That's literally how I felt. And so life kind of had to teach me, no sis, you're wearing a badge of honor. The things you've done are far more than you can feel or think. And a lot of times we go through things and we feel like those situations overwhelm us. Those situations take over us. So everything that comes into our life, we self-sabotage. We're not grateful for. We feel like we're unworthy. And that was 100% me. Instead of saying, sis, you're a first generational college student. You have truly, what is the word that I'm looking for? You have really blazed trails here. You know, that's what, instead of telling myself that, I felt like everything I had been through, you know, and it just resonated. It resonated with me. And I continued to self-sabotage. I continued to live a life of unworthiness, even though, you know, my income had really literally tripled, or my badge had changed, the letters behind my name. I passed my NCLEX the first time. I passed within 75 questions. I did really, really well. And I feel like a lot of the times we have to, this is so pretty, I'm gonna have to like play with it. A lot of times we have to ask ourselves, you know, are we getting in the way of ourselves? Are we looking at life's trials and adversity as opportunities to become better, you know? So that's kind of what I want to challenge you with, is to ask yourself, is this something to teach me something? Is there more to my story than just trying to get to the finish line? I faced so much adversity along this journey of becoming a registered nurse. It was far more important for me to go through the things that I had went through. It was far more important for me to learn from the journey than it was for me to get to the destination. A lot of times we feel like the destination is all we need. The destination is where it should end up. The destination. But there is so much more important things on the way to the destination. So many more important things. Look around you in your times of failure. Look around you in your times of adversity. Look around you in your times of your hardships. Look around you and say, what does God need from me in this season? If it was all about a destination, we would always be accomplished with no story, no glory, no real grit behind the things that we do. And we have to start really facing ourselves in these challenges and not being ready to give up, or not self-sabotage because things didn't go our way and we felt different about who we should be and the things we should be doing, right? So I share my story, and I share my story with pride. I share my story because that was a badge of honor for me. And if it was really up to me, you know, I wouldn't change. There was a time in my life I wanted to give up. I had given up 100% on myself. If it wasn't for the people in my life, Miss Thompson, Miss McCarroll, Miss Rose, pushing me and talking me through these low times in my life, I would not be sitting with you on this camera, talking to you, looking pretty, living in a nice environment, doing nice things, having a good head on my shoulders. God is more concerned about your story than he is your glory, because it's all about him. You know what I mean? God is more concerned with where you are and what you're going to get from the story that he gives you than he is you're just always being accomplished and feeling like you've earned something. And it's not always about that. Like, slow down. Enjoy the slow moments. Enjoy the moments when things don't go your way. Those are some of the best moments in your life. I promise you this. I promise you. There's not one thing I would change about where I am in my life and all the things that happen to me, because I have character now. I have legacy. I have a story. I have something to tell somebody behind my name. I didn't give up. I'm a first graduate college student. Not only that, I finished nursing school twice, essentially, you know, and I was successful the second time. And you know, there's just so many good things that can come from you just literally not giving up and, you know, self-sabotaging and being hard on yourself and all of those things, you know. I'm going with these two. Oh yes, this may not be fluffy enough. So yes, girl, let's do a fluffy brush so we can. Yes, that's it. Got a little bit of green on. So where was I as far as the story goes? So yeah, I ended up becoming a nurse, and I work in a very, very demanding unit. You know, I work in a very demanding environment, and I really believe everything I have gone through, God has truly prepared me for where I am and the things I do now. And I have a little bit more of a grit to me, and you know, going through what I've been through, I have a little bit more grit. You know, I'm not so easy to give up now because things didn't go my way, you know? And so because of everything I've been through, because of my story, I don't always feel the need to get onto a public platform and not necessarily brag about being a nurse, because I know a lot of people are interested in becoming a nurse. A lot of people see nursing as a very prestigious degree, and it is a very prestigious degree, but not everybody's always happy for you, for one. And I think a lot of times we see where people are and we want to, you know, dismiss the fact that they had to die to themselves to be where they are. They had to go through the process to get where they are. And a lot of people don't understand that. They may hear my success and be jealous, or they may hear my success and prey on my downfall. And so that's one reason why I don't talk about my YouTube channel. I mean, that's why I don't talk about nursing on my YouTube channels, because I just feel like not everybody's happy for you, for one. Number two is, I think we've gotten a little carried away with social media and all these things that people do. They bring out what they do for a living. They brag about it, and they, you know, share it with other people. And we got to keep some things for ourselves. And I feel like nursing is one of those things that I'm not necessarily willing to talk about. I don't need everybody knowing where I work, what I do. And, you know, I work my job, and when I'm at home, I'm at home. You know, I see some privacy in that. My job is my job, and I take a good deal of pride in it. And some people on the internet don't understand that, right? The second thing is, well, no, that's not the second thing. The third thing, sis, is the need to. I love talking about people's well-being. I love talking about taking care of yourself so you can do your job. Not everybody wants to be a nurse, but everybody wants to live a healthy life, if that makes sense. Every now and then I'll mention it because I want you guys to know what I do. I want you guys to know that it holds a little weight into the things I'm saying. I just didn't get it overnight, that type of thing. I want you guys to see that, but I'm not ever gonna sit on here and just divulge all of my private career business to you. I just think that's not healthy, for a lack of better words. So that's why I don't share nursing on my channel. I just like some things left to myself. You guys know a little bit more about my story. I hope it all makes sense. So yes, girl, let me put on my eyelashes and I'll be right back, okay? Let me zoom you guys in. All right, so I have the eyelashes on. These are different. I like them though. So I'm gonna go ahead on and do my lips with you guys per usual. And then we are gonna close the video out. I don't know what I wanna do for my lips. I think I'm gonna use this chocolate lip liner. No, let's use this one. This one sharpened. Yeah, this is fine. It's one of my favorites. It's always, it's always gonna be a chocolate lip liner. Always. I just haven't got to the point where I can do like colors on my lips. That's just me personally. I don't like the look of it. So there's the lip liner. I love it. When I was sunburnt, my lips were the worst. My lips, like I'm talking about my whole face, my lips were the worst. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. Ooh, my under eyes are so bright. It is what it is. I'm not gonna stress it. And then I have this the Lip Bar lip glosses have literally become my favorite. And I'm gonna try this pretty pink one. It looks so Barbie-ish and just pretty. I'm not gonna do a lipstick today. Ooh, that's pretty. I love it. These are just so good and underrated. Oh yes, that's it. That is it. I like it. Okay, so there's the lips. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I think I did my under eyes too bright. We're gonna have to go with it, sis. I can't go back on it. All right, here come the earrings, and then we're gonna close out the video. Alrighty, girls, so let's see, put these on really quick. Alrighty, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and close out the video now. I just want to throw this out there that a lot of times we are so concerned with arriving and getting to a certain point in our life, or feeling like accomplishments are the definition of our success, when in reality God sometimes is more concerned about your story for his glory than he is your accomplishment. So I want to leave you with the note of understanding that if you're in a situation, whether it's academics or whether it's a job or whether it's relocating to a new city or whatever level of disappointment or adversity or hardship you may be facing, I want you to turn around and look around in your situation and just see what am I supposed to get out of this situation? What does this situation really mean for me? Because ultimately, when I look back on everything I just told you, like I told you guys, there was a time where I could not get through this story without feeling like a failure, feeling like a loser, feeling just like my whole world had ended. I had grieved it, but there's not a thing I would change about what I have gone through to be where I am today. In fact, everything I've gone through has been so much more important than arriving to where I am. A lot of times, what you feel like you need and what you feel like you want is not as important as what you need. And getting what you need is a lot more gratifying than you could ever imagine. So I want to leave you guys with, don't feel stuck. Feel like you're getting exactly what you need for your life, and always continue to work hard, and you'll see your success pay off in the best way possible. I absolutely love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me and listening to my story as far as me becoming a nurse. And I love you guys so much. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button. Comment down below and let me know how you feel. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye.